From the heart of Africa, where dreams are born and passion is boundless, a new wave of talent rises. In La Liga, these extraordinary athletes are not just playing the game, they're transforming it.
Rodriguez, the man chasing, it's Lamine Yamal! What a magnificent goal that
They
is!
shine on the world stage. Watch as they redefine football, inspire millions, and make history. La Liga, where dreams become reality.
Okay, it is a beautiful morning here in the studios of Rapid TV. Now, a lot we'll be looking at this morning, taking a cue from what's happening in the international scene, and if definitely time permits, we will come back home. Now, here this morning, it promises to be a fun-filled Friday as we unleash all the top stories coming from the world of sport. I am Ijoma Victor. We begin from the headquarters in Zurich, talking about FIFA, where on Thursday they unveiled its list of match officials for the June 11 to June 19 World Cup, including 52 referees, 6 of whom are women. Now, according to FIFA's chief refereeing officer in the person of Pierluigi Collina, the selected match officials are the very best in the world. They were part of a wider pool of officials that was identified and monitored over the past 3 years. They have attended seminars and officiated at FIFA tournament. In addition, they were performance in domestic and international matches where they were regularly assessed. Now, the governing body will also take 88 assistant referees and 30 video match officials who hails from all 6 confederations and 50 member associations. Now, from the Confederation of African Football CAF, will have 7 referees representing the continent at the upcoming FIFA World Cup 2026, following the official announcement of the match officials for the global showpiece. The selected referees come from across Africa, highlighting the growing recognitions of officiating standards on the continent. The list includes Mustafa Gobal from Algeria, Amin Mohamed from Egypt, Pierre Acho from Gabon, Jalal Jaid from Morocco, Daheni Bieda from Mauritania, Tom Ambungili from South Africa, and Omar Atan from Somalia. Algerian referee Mustafa Gobal headlines the list as the most experienced among the group, having previously officiated at both the 2018 World Cup in Russia and the 2022 World Cup in Qatar's edition. And his inclusion, underscores CAF reliance on seasoned officials with proven track records on the global stage. For others, the tournament will mark a significant milestone in their career. Somali referee Omar Atan is set to make his World Cup debut, representing a historic achievement for his country and signaling CAF's commitment to inclusivity and development across all regions. The appointments reflect FIFA's continued confidence in African referees who have consistently been part of major international tournaments. The selected officials are expected to play key roles in ensuring the smooth conduct of matches at the tournament, which will be co-hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The 2026 edition of the World Cup will be the first to feature an expanded 48 teams format, further increasing the demand for top-level officiating talent from around the world. Meanwhile, FIFA has excluded referee Jean-Jacques Ndala from the 2026 World Cup. The Congolese official who took charge of the 2025 African Cup of Nations final between the Atlas Lions of Morocco and the Teranga Lions of Senegal will not be at the summer's tournament. The AFCON final descended into chaos and controversy as the Teranga Lions eventually won 1-0 in Rabat. After the game, Ndala became the subject of criticism over his handling of the match. Ndala failed to blow the final whistle despite Senegal players staging a walk-off and didn't issue any yellow card when they eventually returned to the field. Now, in clear punitive move, FIFA has excluded Ndala from the list of referees for the World Cup. CAF subsequently stripped Senegal of the title, but the West Africans have taken their appeals to the Court of Arbitration for Sport CAS. And let's see what that will, the result of that will come out from CAS. Let's see how it goes. And we head straight to the female football as Super Falcons prepare for the WAFCON. But not too good news coming as goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie has publicly expressed dissatisfaction with the Nigerian Football Federation NFF over what she perceives as inadequate preparation for the upcoming Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON. Nnadozie, who played club football for Brighton and Hove Albion, made her feelings known via a post on her Instagram story, where she employed sarcasm in response to a recent announcement by the NFF. The federation had earlier confirmed that the Super Eagles will participate in the 2026 Unity Cup, a four-nation invitational tournament scheduled to take place in London. The team, under head coach Eric Sekoshel, is set to compete against Jamaica, that's the Reggae Boys, the Warriors of Zimbabwe, and also Indians at the Charlton Athletics Valley Stadium between May 26 and May 30. Reacting to the announcement, Nnadozie reposted the update with a caption, "So Eagles get another AFCON for July." A remark widely interpreted as a critic of the Super Falcons. Now, stars, she frustrated, she voiced her frustration, and the Super Falcons' plans remains unclear. Federation's priority, her comments highlight growing concerns with the Super Falcons camp regarding the apparent lack of structural planning ahead of the WAFCON. While the men's national team have secured confirmed fixtures, venues, and opponents for each non-competitive engagement, there has been no official communications detailing similar arrangements for the women's team as they prepare for a major continental tournament. Now, the situation has fueled frustrations amongst players and observers, raising questions about the level of institutional support provided to the female team, the Super Falcons, in comparison to their male counterpart. Now, let's take a look at this one. Actually, I'm of interest with this one. The Super Falcons of Nigeria played the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon back in Yaoundé, where the athlete was a good friendly to fine-tune these girls. Now, they were supposed to play Cape Verde next week, but Cape Verde pulled out of that friendly. And the tournament is just around the corner. Now, there's this comparison between how they treat the male team, the Super Eagles, and how they treat the female team, the Falcons. And a lot of questions begging for answers. Now, Nnadozie also said that the Super Eagles are actually, the friendlies have been confirmed. The Unity Cup against the Reggae Boys, and also the Warriors of Zimbabwe and India. Then there's also a friendly against Portugal and Poland in the month of June, preparing this team, that's Portugal and Poland, for the World Cup. But what about the Super Falcons having the WAFCON coming up in a matter of weeks? Not only Nnadozie, even Captain Rasheedat Ajibade also talked about this one, the level of preparedness. But there's something I've known about the NFF, especially when you criticize them. They come back at you. Go and ask Desire Okpara Nozie. She was frustrated out of the football team, despite she still have a long way to go. Yes, all of a sudden, she voiced her displeasure against the NFF, and what happened? She was frustrated out. And now again, it is Nnadozie coming out to speak. Well, let's hear what the NFF will say, because they will also tell you that we are working behind the scene. Now, still with the NFF, the Nigerian Football Federation has responded to mounting concerns over unpaid bonuses and allowances owed to members of the Flying Eagles, Nigerian men's under-20 national team, following complaints from players across the 2023 and 2025 squad. Several members of the team have called on the Federation to settle outstanding qualification bonuses and pre-tournament camp allowances accrued over the period of 3 years. The players who participated in the competition, including the WAFU B Under-20 World Cup, we also have the AFCON and also other bonuses, allowances that are linked to these players. And we also talk about them involved in 6 major tournaments. Yes, he's been involved in 6 major tournaments, as well as approximately 65 days of camping allowances. Now, under coach Ladam Boso, the 2023 AFCON secures qualification for the under-20 WAFCON, which they won. Yes, they won the WAFU B, beating Benin Republic in the finals. Now, the team went on to finish 3rd at the Continental Tournament in Egypt and reached the quarterfinals of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Argentina, where they were eliminated by South Korea. Now, in 2025, the team, led by a different coach entirely, Ali Zubero, finished as runners-up at the WAFU B Cup after a narrow defeat to the Baby Elephants of Ivory Coast, but still qualified for the Under-20 AFCON. They advanced to the semi-finals of the tournament after defeating Senegal on penalties, thereby securing a qualification ticket for the World Cup. The team ultimately placed 4th at the AFCON, finished exiting the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile following a 4-0 loss to Argentina in the round of 16. Now, sources within the federation indicated that players and backroom staff were promised a qualification bonus of $5,000 per tournament, alongside daily camp allowances of $100. Now, these bonus structures were reportedly introduced after the NFF scrapped match bonuses for age grade teams in 2017 under the president Amaju Melvin Pinnick. Now, however, some players allege that the federation may only be willing to pay outstanding daily allowances while withholding qualification bonuses. One player claimed that approximately 25 days of unpaid allowances from 2023 amounts to $2,500 per individuals, while about 40 days from 2025 total $4,000 each. Another source suggested that the NFF has begun move to address the debt ahead of its upcoming elective Congress in September, amid concern that issues could become a point of contention. Now, responding to the claim, NFF General Secretary Sanusi dismissed suggestion that the Federation intended to default on part of the payment. Now, his stance probably stated that efforts were ongoing to settle the debt, although payment may not be made in full at once. He also added that while immediate full payment may not be visible, a significant portion of the outstanding sums would be paid, noting that all matches played by the team had received official approval. The issue adds to a series of financial disputes involving the NFF, including bonus-related concerns raised by the Super Eagles during the 2025 AFCON and the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign in 2023. The House of Representatives Committee on Sport also summoned Federation officials over similar issues affecting the Flying Eagles. Well, it's really so sad that in 2023, Ladan Boso led this team to the World Cup. Zubairu also led another Flying Eagles team in 2025, and they have not received their payment. Why would we expect these boys to go all out and give their heart out when they are still being owed $2,500 and also $4,000? If you put that money together, it will go a long way for these lads. And now, the NFF preparing for election in September. So the executive committee are looking at ways to make sure they cover all the loopholes so that they can get a recognition and return back to the office for another 4 years. Well, we'll keep tab with this one. We'll follow up with the team and let's see if these bonuses will be paid. And let's also tell you that Nigeria's Super Sand Eagles will battle Ghana, England and Germany at the International Cup. This was announced by the Nigerian Football Federation NFF in a post on their X handle. Now, according to the federation, the four-nation tournament will run from the 8th to the 10th of May. Now, more details will definitely come on the way because this is just a news flashing in. I will head straight to England, where Liverpool will not sack Arne Slot following their 2-0 defeat to Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League on Wednesday night at the Parc des Princes. Now, according to a report coming from the UK, the Reds want the Dutchman in place for the start of next season. Now, in his first season in England, after replacing Jurgen Klopp in 2024, Slot went ahead, led Liverpool to their Premier League title. However, it has been a dreadful second season for Slot, with the team currently occupying a 5th position, 1 point ahead of Chelsea in 6th place. Now, with the title almost mathematically impossible, Liverpool are also on the brink of exiting the Champions League as they have to overcome a 2-goal deficit against current holders Paris Saint-Germain. But senior officials are considering keeping him amid a strong link to former midfielder Xabi Alonso. Meanwhile, let's take a result of games coming from the UEFA Champions League, Europa League yesterday. And let's tell you that Aston Villa defeated Bologna by 3-1. FC Porto played a 1-1 draw against Nottingham Forest, and Freiburg defeated Celta Vigo by 3-0. That's talking about the Europa League played yesterday. Just as you see the results on the screen, yes, massive result for Aston Villa as they push for a place in the semi-finals. Let's also tell you that also a good result for Nottingham Forest, picking a point on the road. And let's also tell you that Freiburg beating Celta Vigo is also a massive one for the German team. So let's see how we pan out in the next 7 days for this team. Who will move to the semi-finals? 90 minutes will definitely decide. Away from football, I will head straight to handball, where Nigeria's under-18 and under-20 men's handball team have secured both qualifications for the semi-finals of the ongoing IHF Trophy African Zone 3 tournament in Lomé, Togo, following impressive victories over Benin Republic and Ivory Coast, respectively. Now, the two teams continued their dominant run in the competition with convincing performances that underlined Nigeria's growing strength in youth handball across the region. Now, the under-20 or probably the under-18 side produced a commanding display against Benin Republic, controlling proceedings from start to finish to book their place in the last 4. Now, their cohesion in attack and discipline in the defense proved too much for their opponent. Similarly, the under-20 team delivered a strong performance against Ivory Coast, showcasing tactical superiority and clinical finishing to seal a comfortable victory and advance to the semi-finals. Now, with both teams now in the finals, 4, Nigeria remains firmly on course for a double podium finish as they aim to continue their impressive campaign in the tournament. The IHF Trophy African Zone 3 tournament, currently taking place in Lomé, Togo, serves as a key developmental competition for emerging handball talent across the West African region. And we'll wrap it up with boxing this morning, where Tyson Fury has urged Anthony Joshua to fight him next and forget about Deontay Wilder. Should he beat Aslanbek Mohoduvov on Saturday. Now, Fury will return from his latest retirement for his first fight in 16 months as he faces Mudorok at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. While the 37-year-old insists he is not looking past his Russian opponent, he issued an emphatic plea to Joshua on Wednesday, calling on him, fellow Brit, not to take an interim bout. Now, Wilder came face to face with Joshua after his win over Derek Chisora at the 0-2 Arena last Sunday, calling out the British Nigerian boxer for a fight. The two British heavyweights have held talks and of over 10 years, but the bout has never materialized. Now, Joshua made his first public appearance in the UK at the ringside as Wilder defeated veteran Chisora in a back and forth contest. Now, he is currently working his way back into the sport after a fatal accident that claimed the lives of his close friends Shina Gahim and Latif Lat Ayodele in Nigeria last December, which derailed his career. While Joshua's promoter Eddie Hinn has said they would prefer a warm-up fight before facing Fury, the former champion urged Joshua not to delay. So let's see how it pans out this weekend. Also, not this weekend though. Date is not fixed yet for that fight. But let's tell you that the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, will be up this weekend. That is tomorrow, just like you've seen in that video, ready to take on Mahmudov. Yes, that's the fight that we go down this Saturday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And this is where we blow the final whistle on the Friday edition of Rapid Sports Highlight. It has been a fun-filled Friday here in the studio, and definitely on Monday we'll be giving you up with those reviews from the games that will go down this weekend. Do have yourself a beautiful weekend ahead.